Hi, everybody. Just waiting for this to stream. Okay, I think we are good to go. And we are streaming live. So welcome. Welcome. My name is Shirley Joy Joffe. I am the Joyful Abundance Activator, and I use a variety. I'm a multi-passionate multi-mastery tool activator. I use many things that I have learnt, worked with, tuned into my intuition with for the last, it's over 15 years, put it that way. My very first professional work in this capacity was when I was 18 as a professional tarot reader. And then from there on, I was in various industries, like normal industries. I was in corporate for many years, highly successful career in corporate, in the banking industry, and also working with as a coach and heading up gyms and things in the fitness industry. So, you know, some pretty hefty careers there. But I came back to this because I realized that in all those careers, this was really the underlying success. Now, today, I am going to talk to you a little bit about human design. It's one of the modalities, one of the techniques, systems, whatever you wish to call it, that I have been studying, learning, and coaching over the last few years. I've put together, the reason I didn't coach for quite a long time is because initially it is study. And there is an understanding, a deep understanding going through our own experiment. So it takes a while to do that before we can really be more deeply understanding as to what it actually is. And what I realized, what I wanted to cover today, is when it doesn't work. So I myself have studied 3 different types of human design. Hello there. And if you're joining me live, please do say hi. If you're joining me on replay, please tag #replay, just so that I know. Love to see you. If you're joining me live, just say hi. So I work through 3 different types of human design. Why do I do that? What I find is that when we go through and look at our human design charts, the profiles, there is the main one, which is the very first one that came out, traditional human design. It's a certain way of calculating to get your chart. But what I realized is it did not incorporate the life path that we lead throughout this life. And as you probably have worked out, if you're even on this page, is that we change and evolve, we grow and evolve. And even though the underlying part of human design can still stand firm, sometimes we actually do change. So I've written down 3-4 reasons when human design doesn't work. And one of those is when you start to totally define yourself through the lens of human design, your profile, your pattern. And what it does, if you are very rigid with that, is it actually can put you in a box that makes it very difficult for you to then be flexible and move with what is actually going on with you. It can put in lots of shoulds. You know, I should make decisions this way. I should have this type of business. This is the type of life I must have. This is the way that I decondition. All of these things are put in place often and start to become limitations. So one of the things which I'm very passionate about, as many of you know if you've joined me before, is releasing from limitations, definitions, and actually creating possibilities. But when we just go through one human design lens, that can often be quite stifling. So the other thing which often can cause issues is the consistent need and ongoing journey and yearning to decondition everything. It's as if we have this idea that all of the events, all of the experiences that we've had in our life, and even in past lives, suddenly become our stamp, and they're all wrong, and then we have to decondition them. We have to release them. We need to clear. My perspective on this is we have evolved through our experiences. We have evolved through our past lives. What we're looking at when we are talking about decondition in a more functional way is actually releasing the traumatic imprints and anything that causes our being, our energy being, and our body to react in a way that is not helpful and that doesn't allow us to create greater in our lives. So just to give you an example, very, very easy example, is when we are looking at, say, for example, the heart center, which is all around will, certainty, self-worth. These are things around the heart center that can come up. And when we decondition that, what we're looking at is where in our life has that shown up for us that we can release the sting, but not the events necessarily. So constantly doing that can actually put you into a space of falling apart, actually, and being in a great void. And unless you've got some good support there, it can actually lead to some, I've seen some really messed up stuff when too much of that is done, and also done from the perspective of it's all wrong, I need to decondition this, everything that's gone on is not what my design is, not what my energy is. So the other thing I see with human design is that it's sometimes used as an excuse not to partake in life, as an excuse, especially in this business arena, when you're looking primarily at the energy type, is, okay, no, I can't do that because I haven't been invited to it. I can't do that because that's not my type. I can't do this, and so on. We need to go deeper and actually realize not what we cannot do, but what we can do and how we can do it. Whatever energy type, I believe, whatever energy type we are, we can choose any career, any way of being, but we do it in a different way. And this is really where the individual stuff comes in. When you do the readings one-to-one, this is part of the individual intuitive reading. And the last one, which I want to really touch on, is using human design to put people in a hierarchical space. Now, we are constantly going through at the moment, we are trying to release, hierarchy, class, job types, what's better and what's not better. We're constantly in this state of comparison. And human design has often been used as another comparison. So the way that it works is that every single soul, every single infinite being is on this earth and has a unique imprint that without it, something is missing. And that's what I really, really like to speak to, is you are required and needed, because you're part of, if you imagine the whole world is a big, huge jigsaw puzzle or a tapestry, every thread and every jigsaw piece is required to complete the whole. Now, I'm going to let that sink in. I'm not going to go further than that. I'm just going to allow you to just think about that for a moment. And then when the thoughts come up, what about this person? What about these actions? What about this? Every single piece, every single thread is a required, necessary part of this stamp in time, this area, and is required for what's to come, what's been, and all those layers in between. So when does it work? It works when we come in with a space of curiosity, a space of wonder, looking at very openly and honestly what we have been doing or being the way we have been being that actually does not serve us. human design doesn't take so much into account the physical body. So where are we doing and being in ways where our body is not being honored? Where are we doing and being in ways where our energy is not being honored? Our gifts are not being honored. Human design can really give you clues as to where those gifts lie. And as I mentioned right at the beginning, I don't just use the traditional one, I do an evolutionary scale. So we start with the traditional, we see where you are at the moment and what are you evolving into? What is your path, your journey in life, using the terminology of human design, but actually expanding that much further. And when we come up against, when we see that there may be what I call like hiccups, obstacles that maybe are not so comfortable, that's when we look to release unhelpful blocks, limitations, anything that isn't serving you, while still honoring the path that you've gone through till now. So I'm going to leave you with that. I do the reading that I do for people is called the Optimal Soul Flow Evaluation. And that is a one-to-one reading. But the way I do it is actually through recordings, and then you have the one-to-one with me. And I go into 5 different areas, not just human design. We're going through the flow of the soul, the journey of the soul, where you are, where you will be, how it helps in a practical sense. So day-to-day life, you know, being a mum, being a parent. I offer an add-on where we can do the dynamics of you versus with your family or with your colleagues. All of these things will help to be much more present in your life and to have life work for you even better. Just from my perspective, just knowing and really sinking into what that was, that flow, that soul flow, which I did, of course, for myself, it's allowed me to have flow and abundance within my business, to have much more idea as to how I parent my 3 children who are completely different. And also how to have a easier partnership and looking at the evolution of the children and my husband as well, because everyone's on that path. And if you're dovetailing an old version of them, or you can see maybe they have stepped back into old patterning, maybe past life patterning, you can actually see that through that soul flow evaluation, through the flow. Also going through how it can help you in your health, what is most suitable for you from a physical perspective, from a information handling perspective, energetic or sort of senses overload, all that kind of thing really is brought to light so that you can live your life in a much more easeful state, in a much more your version of joyful state. And I say your version of joyful because there is nothing set in stone. Everybody is different. Every map, human design map and evolution and soul flow is different. And also to help you have just an easier ride when things come up, to be aware when things are coming up. Where is it coming from? To recognize that, and then to almost like swerve or change and adapt without putting your energy into a state of exhaustion, into a state of panic or manicness. So all of these things are covered in that design. So if that's something that you are resonating with, maybe you've had human design readings, maybe you've had like the PDF sent out, those kind of things, and it didn't quite feel complete, Maybe it was fairly general. I've had plenty of those, and there's some really, really useful information. And I've always wanted to go further. So if you're that kind of person who really likes to go deeper, likes to go further into things, and this all resonates with you, and you appreciate the approach of opening up possibilities and not being tied to it, then drop me a comment in the comments or DM me, however you wish to contact me, and let's talk. I'm offering, I only do for a month, so my calendar is open. I have 2 more slots left this month available. So if that's something that resonates, come on in, and I would love, love, love to get on a quick chat with you, or you know, however you want to do that. But I hope that's been useful, and I will see you very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.